Hello, this is Naoto, and this is the how many episodes? I forgot. Let me check. The 10th video of Hydra coding challenge, and today I want to recode some of the sketches. Well, in uh, this video and the next videos, I want to recreate some of the sketches from Reas. He's, if you don't know, he's a professor at UCLA, but probably more known as a co-founder of processing along with Ben Fry. And just a side note, it's there's a very interesting video from Processing Community Day in Boston in 2017, which there was like a first processing official event gathering, and there are some interesting talks, keynotes, and I forgot if it was Ben Fry or Reas, but they were basically explaining the history of processing, how it started, and they were a student of Joe Maida, who's known for design by numbers. And at first, Joe Maida was not really encouraging them to make a new tool, and instead Joe Maida was encouraging them to create something using existing tools. But indeed, they made a tool called processing, and as you know, there's major version 4 of processing, and yes, there's so many people using it. There's P5JS started as a kind of branch of processing, and now it's something on its own, I would say. And yeah, so we all know processing, I would say, if you're watching this video, probably. If you don't know, you should check out processing.org. And so Casey is not just the founder or creator of processing. He has like a lot of artworks if you go to reas.com. On the other hand, Ben Fry is more towards, like, he's also an artist, but also towards data visualization. That's also interesting to look at, like how there are two people from two different interests created this tool, or with this tool they created something like made into different interests, directions. So today I want to do something simple. I'm not sure. At first I was looking at this one. This looks like a Voronoi pattern, so I feel it's kind of okay. But maybe the one with the color would be nice. And there's a video which shows kind of the movement, but let's ignore this a little bit because I think it's really impossible to create something very similar to what it is. But let's take the essence of it and try to recreate as close as possible with Hydra. Let me check the video a little bit. So there are kind of like Voronoi patterns, I think. But instead of like drawing like different colors, gradients, they're showing these lines which are green, blue. Well, actually the background is black, and there are blue lines, which is very difficult to see, but you can see blue lines, green lines, and white lines, and that's just a combination of those. So that's a good observation. And then I think these three layers of blue, green, and white are slightly modulated so that it creates kind of interesting pattern, gradient, and kind of, it also almost looks like pinkish in some places. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to put the image here and go to the Hydra editor. Now, so this is actually a good start because I wanted a black solid pattern in the background. And I would say, well, first of all, I think I need some kind of layer to it. And I would start with the lines. There are diagonal lines. I think it's coming from top left to bottom right. How do I do this? I think there are different ways to do it. Some kind of repetition is needed. So I need some kind of shape. And just for later, I will just put this .r, which takes red channel, replaces G, B, and A channel, which also replaces alpha channel, so the background becomes transparent. And how would I do it? I think I'm just guessing these numbers. Okay, so probably I want it, and also I need to scale it to fix aspect ratio so that we see like true aspect ratio. Okay, now what I need here is I need to scale it so that it becomes like a thinner shape, which the first parameter goes x and y both, multiplies both directions, so I would just do x direction. If you omit this, it will be 1. And probably I don't know what's a good way to do this actually. Just as a way of thinking, I think I would make this 1, which becomes like a whole. This is too much. Fill the space, and then from there I would say point. The width-wise, I think something like slightly smaller. And height-wise, I would make it really thin. Like this, or maybe a little bit more. Are they rounded shape, the rounded corners? I don't know, and I don't know if it's possible to do it in Hydra easily. There are some ways to do it, or like combine with different shapes. I'll just leave it like this for now. And rotate it with math.pi divided by 4, which is 45 degrees, and it magically worked. And I think I would leave a little bit of blurriness to it. Not sure if I would really do it. Maybe I don't do it for now. Or the problem is like if you add blurriness, then scale it, so the blurriness is also kind of scaled. It doesn't look nice. Maybe just add a little bit of it. Not sure. I'll just leave it out for now. And the last thing I need is to repeat. By the way, the placement of this R doesn't really matter in this case, because this color operation and geometric operation, they are kind of separate things, so you can just like shuffle them. But of course, like geometric operation, you can't really rotate, swap them between, otherwise it will be funny. Oh, interesting. Is it like kind of aliasing? Yes. Okay, that's already kind of, it kind of looks like what I wanted, but it's not, so let's leave it like this. Is it too much? I don't know. I can tweak this later. And maybe I should keep this as a lines or something and declare it as a function so that it's easier to reuse it later. It's the same thing. I just replaced the function as an arrow, or what is it called? Anonymous function or arrow function? Something like that. Of course, you can do function and then, but this is a bit more wordy because return, blah, blah, blah. The same thing, but this is easier. Well, it's technically not the same thing. JavaScript. Okay, now what I want here is somehow I want to mask it. I think the simplest way, I would just like mask it with Voronoi. And then it kind of looks like that. I mean, probably I want some kind of thresholding. And then this weird circular thing, because Voronoi comes with this, let's make it static. And also the last parameter, if you make it 0, then it's kind of more solid. If you make it 1, then you see this circular interesting pattern. But in this case, I don't need it. And I think I make this really big, or even bigger. to see it like this. And then I think this threshold should be sharp edge. Yeah, let's leave it like this. Now, as we saw, we had 3 different colors. So I just multiply them. I mean, yeah, multiply in terms of like layers. And mask. Okay, so what colors do I have? Blue. And of course, right now it's not really working because that's something I have to look into the color again. There's green, and then the last one is white. So now it's not really working because they're kind of on top of each other. If I just delete this, then you see the color, but then you're applying another one on top, so they're kind of blocking each other. And if you look at the original image, I think they're deliberately shifted somehow, but it's very difficult to kind of make this. It's not like a uniformly shifted. And I think somehow, yeah, I have no idea actually. Somehow it looks like green is on top of white and blue is, I think blue is behind. So I would leave it like this, and then also blue seems to be more static. Like they kind of stay there. And green is shifted, white is also shifted. It's very difficult, I have to say. Yeah, it's very difficult. I have no idea how I can make that. Probably one thing is like also like I would make the threshold really small so that they're kind of overlapping each other. It's not very similar, I would say. Like it's slowly getting closer, but there are some observations. Like it's not just a simple mask, but I don't know exactly what this is. Like it's more like a modulate maybe instead of mask. In that case, I wouldn't really thresh it. Ooh. It hurts my eyes. Okay, so now I don't see that again. That's kind of interesting. And then maybe distinguish them a little bit. And I think I should just add some slow movement just to get the idea of how it looks like. It's different, but it's kind of nice. Maybe not. So let's say I'm happy somehow with kind of this adding colors together, like overlaying. It's kind of like the texture becomes very similar. I mean, of course, the quality is a little bit different. I think also like kind of anti-aliasing and all these things that are making it different. But I also think that there's another thing that it's not a simple Voronoi, and somehow I have to work on it. And to do this, I think Voronoi, I'll just replace Voronoi function because I think I would probably use something similar for 3 of those. So I'll just like leave them out like this as a function again. Okay, now What if I like modulate the Voronoi with another Voronoi? Like maybe slightly different parameters? It kind of add like a nice texture to it. Or maybe like this would be 3, first one should be 1. Yeah, this is kind of... Yeah. Maybe 2. I don't know. Also, I think the shifting, I think I would add this in the modulator function. I would add color 0, 1, or 1, 0, so that it's modulating. Oh, wow, that's getting crazy. It's only pushing the color, the pixels into X direction and just take Y direction out. Because if it's moving X, Y in the same degree, then it kind of aligns with the line. But I feel this is, I thought it was a good idea, but it feels this is too much, almost. But maybe it's okay. I'll just keep it like this. Now, if I watch this video, what else? Actually, so blue seems more static, but actually it's not completely static. They are moving, and white and green has a little bit of like different kind of movement. So maybe this color thing, I would not do it this way. And what's interesting with this anonymous function is that you can add parameters, just like another function. I don't know, I. And then I would say like 0, 1, 2. And what if I say this is, color is 1, 0, 0, which is red. And then I do like hue with I. Ooh. So what happens is like hue is changing the hue. So red can become orange or yellow or blue. And that kind of changes red and green, also blue, the red and green in like different ways. So I thought it kind of adds some kind of different direction to the movement of the modulation. And I think I need some kind of threshold anyways, if I look at the original image. Maybe not. Maybe not. Now, what's next? I think also the movement can be a little bit more. What do you think? It's very difficult. So I'm just like trying to like change the parameter for this modulate, the amount of like modulation, but it looks a bit too saturated at the moment. Or maybe they can be just like same number. I don't know. Could be. What else can I do? Also, like, I think somehow in this image there are some parts that looks like the lines are like less dense. For example, here like there are less green ones. This is like possible if you're using processing, because you can just like say, okay, every line, I want line here, I want line there, and like let's say I want less lines here, I want more lines here. But in Hydra, different way of thinking. So you can't just like say, I want line here, I want line there. And I think that's why it looks a bit like kind of bland. It's kind of boring because you see that lines are everywhere in a way. And I want to kind of have some spaces that has less lines, but I don't know how to do that. But I think that will really change the quality of the image. So it's not modulate, but it could be just mask. Can it be? Uh-oh. Everything's got lost. I think mask wouldn't really do it. Although, it's kind of nice. It kind of feels like kind of getting there. And I almost feel mask should come before modulate somehow. Could add something interesting. Let's see. Because now you can actually visually see where the mask is happening. But if I mask and then modulate, it's kind of the same. Almost. Well, is this okay? I'm not sure. I mean, I think if I really want to make it close to what the original artwork is, I mean, first of all, it's very difficult with Hydra. And it's more about, for me, it's more about the idea of like how to get these lines like aligned as a grid, and also like adding like different layers, and how can I add motion that is kind of, if not similar, it's kind of homage to the original one. I would actually even want to like try making the lines like really less less dense or sparse, because at first like this was like really strange. Yeah, this was really strange artifact, but I don't know if I like it. Yeah, could be, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I think also like I can just add some kind of scroll, like tiny bit of scroll X to these two layers to make them not align completely. Can be. Yeah, but it's very hard to tweak the parameters. Yeah, it's very busy. Just changing the threshold a little bit. I'm actually not sure if that really adds something or not. Yeah. Just change parameters. I mean, I guess I just have to like keep changing some parameters and see what could be interesting enough. Yeah, something like this, for example. Yeah. Okay, I think I've done enough, and well, it's not too bad, I think. Of course, it's very different, and it's very difficult to recreate what it is from processing into Hydra. But it's again about the way, like strategies, how you can make patterns, and then how you can reinterpret the way of thinking in processing, like translate and for loop and rotate, line, rect into like how you create textures with Hydra. And as I said in the beginning, I want to try a few more works from Casey and in the next videos. And if you have suggestions, if you found something that works better than this sketch, please share in the comments below. And also, if you have like requests, like what kind of coding challenge you want to see, please write in the comments. Of course, questions, like everything, appreciate it. You can write in the comments, or you can write me by email. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, and see you in the next video.